Hey there, Soraya Goddard here. Chelsea Humphreys is going to join me in just a second. We are continuing our series about network marketing and social selling, objections, issues, common questions that people have. And today we are going to be talking about it's too hard. So I have so much to say. We're going to invite Chelsea here in just a second as soon as she pops up. And we will get going. So if you have not already, I'm gonna, yes, send invite. There we go. Haven't already, I would encourage you to join our waitlist. If you go to mavenwaitlist.com, that puts you on our email list where you will get emails from this beautiful woman and me, and we will talk to you all about network marketing, social selling. Plus, we want to hear what you have to say. So, like, if you write us back, it's actually us reading them. It's not like some virtual assistant or anything. It's actually us. But I digress. Hi, Chelsea. How are you?
Hey friend, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
Look at us getting our stuff together.
I know. It's like we've done this before.
I mean, once.
Which we haven't. It's all good. Okay, so I was just telling everyone to get on the wait list.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing. I'm going to plug us up front, and then we can get into all the meat and potatoes.
I love that.
We are coming out with something that I have never seen done in the network marketing space before, and really in the coaching and course space, period. I don't want to tell too much, but this is going to be like having Chelsea and I coach you on demand for a very low price of what it actually would cost to have us coach you all the time and like be in your pocket on your phone. So that's all I'll say about that. So you want to get on the wait list because we are going to offer it up to the wait list for first dibs with all sorts of extra bonuses. And like we got crazy one day and decided that we were going to put it at like 30% off for people on the wait list, which is kind of insane. I don't know
And
why
now
we
we
did that, but
can't change
whatever.
our minds, so
And
you
now we
just need
can't change
to
our
like
minds
do
because I
it.
just told everybody. So get on the wait list. That's all I'll have to say. Okay,
I will say, can I say
mavenwaitlist.com.
one thing about it though? It
Please.
is based on a course that I took like a long time ago that helped me make my first six figures. So the reason that we're doing it the way that we're doing it is because I have actual personal experience with the way this course is designed, and I'm so excited to get it in your hands.
Yeah, I seriously have never seen anything like this, and I've spent an obscene amount of money on courses and coaching and masterminds, and this is going to be more value than any of them. So, yeah. Okay, teaser. All right. So today we have been talking about different objections, and when people come into social selling and they're like, "Hey, I see all these people making money, and I see all these people quitting their jobs or paying for their mortgages or just having a good time and earning trips or whatever it is, and I want to do that." And I started, and it's really freaking hard. I know you've heard that. I know that we hear that all the time. So today we're talking about what do you do if it feels hard? What do you do if you feel like it's too hard to do? Do you have any like first thoughts on that before we dive in?
Yeah, I mean, I think the first thing is we do a big disservice when we are recruiting people into this business by saying it's easy. You just do it in the in-betweens of your day and just pop something online. And like I see when I hear a coach say that, because it's not. You're gonna be an entrepreneur. It's hard. If you were gonna open a donut shop, you wouldn't think it was gonna be easy. You'd be crazy if you did. You have to know going into this, like owning your own business is hard. So it is hard. So I think there's a lot of misconception around that. And I think that there's people who come in thinking it's going to be this like quick get rich scheme. And they get really disappointed when they find out it's just like any other job. And it's difficult.
Yeah. Could you imagine, like, in your analogy with the donut shop, could you imagine if someone was just like, "Oh, I'm just going to build it and like people will come,
Yeah.
sell
Yeah, I
themselves."
use the donut shop analogy so much, and I really don't even know why, because I don't even like donuts. I know I'm a terrible person, but I don't even like donuts. But I just like, I think I picked donuts because if you own a donut shop, you have to be up at the crack of dawn to go make donuts. Like, it's not just hard, it's like even harder than if you owned a different retail store. And that's the thing with network marketing. It pays way more in the first year if you are dedicated to it and you do the thing and you actually do the thing than the donut shop ever would. But it's just as hard, if not harder.
Yeah. And I think your point is really, really important, where for those of us who have seen some success in the industry, when we are recruiting people, it's really on us to set the expectations, to have a conversation about what is your goal, what are you looking for, and then if someone is like, oh well, I'd like to make $1 million in the first year, okay, well that happens, but it doesn't happen to too many people. So maybe we want to like figure out exactly what it would take to get there and have that conversation. You know, the other thing that makes me, I'll steal your word, seethe, is when I hear people talking about, oh, the products just sell themselves. You just pick the right opportunity and the products will sell themselves. I'm like, who is just sitting back and people are
lying
coming,
to you, girlfriend?
like, tell me someone who just has the product sell themselves, because anyone who I know in this industry who is successful is working their booties off.
That's right.
Like,
I mean,
absolutely.
you're having to compete with Target and Walmart with your, most people are, can't even think of anything that's not, you know, that has, if you're in network marketing, there's something that you sell more than likely that Target and Walmart has that they can probably get cheaper in today without paying shipping. So like, there you go. Like it's already an uphill struggle. It's a worth it uphill struggle, but no, they don't sell themselves. That's crazy.
Yeah. So then, okay, so that's a great point though, because on the flip side, so we've talked about like, it's definitely an uphill battle, it's harder, et cetera, et cetera. But on the positive side, we live in a world now where we are used to, number one, scrolling our phones all day and seeing people recommend things. And we're used to people recommending, oh, here's my favorite color Post-its and here's my favorite water, which legitimately this is like my new favorite water right now.
Her favorite water.
I'm obsessed with this stuff. So I am on social media all the time talking about things that I already love. So let's flip that whole thing on its head and say, well, look, maybe it's not too hard. Maybe I'm just overthinking it. And maybe I do just treat it like the Post-its that I love and the water that I love and whatever else that I love. I talk about, you know, purses, lashes, all the things that I love on social media all the time. So why would I not get paid for talking about something that I love as well?
Absolutely. And all the big companies have figured this out. Like Stitch Fix, I think was the first one. I remember getting my first Stitch Fix credit. I don't know if you remember getting your, I was so excited. Totally. I was like, $25 to Stitch Fix. I could do whatever I want with. So that's been years and years ago, and more companies, I mean, I would almost say every company has some sort of referral program. Some of them are kind of like bad and you don't get much, and then some of them are amazing, but every company in 2023 sees the value of relationship selling. And there is a way to get a link pretty much from every website. So for people to think that this is taboo or weird, or you're gonna have to sell Tupperware in your living room, things have changed so much. And the culture is really to share what you love, and why wouldn't you get a paycheck on it?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, we're talking about network marketing and social selling, but I am an affiliate for not this water that I love, but another drink that I love. And the reason why I'm an affiliate for them is because I kept posting it on stories. Wasn't getting paid for it at all. And I'd say maybe the fourth or fifth time I posted on stories, I tagged the company and I said, why am I not getting paid for this again? And they responded.
That's amazing.
Yeah, they responded and they were like, oh, do you want to be an affiliate? Because here's what we'll, like, we see the size of your audience, like we'll actually give you money for this. And I was like, yes, please. So it's really natural to be able to recommend things to friends, family, etc. You don't necessarily have to have a big audience. We'll talk about that in another live about audience size. But at this point, network marketing is one of those things where you're going to do a lot of work in the beginning and it may seem kind of hard. And then over time, it does actually get a little bit easier. I know you've probably experienced that, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I would say, see, I've been online. I got my first Facebook account when it was still an EDU thing. Do you remember that? Like, I've been online that long and building my brand for that long. Now, have I been building my brand for social media that long, or for a network marketing company that long? No, not at all. But I have been building my brand online since 2005. So that's a long time. And I think sometimes people come in and they're like, oh my gosh, well, she just jumped in there and she did amazing in that first month, and I should be able to do that. And maybe too hard is the wrong word, because it's simple, like what you're, like what you're saying. Yeah, throw a link up. It's simple, but the hard work is building that network and being committed to building that network. And sometimes that takes a lot more time. If you're someone who's never had social media before and you're like, I'm going to start selling on social media, you don't have the network to sell to. But if you've been building that network for years and years and years, you might have an easier start than others.
Yeah, absolutely. It's what you said 2 days ago on our previous live. The hardest part, or really network marketing, is relationship building. Like, you have to grow connections, whether you do that online, in person, both. I guess we can call that inline. You've got to build relationships. You've got to put yourself out there. You've got to be of value to other people. Otherwise, throwing a link up really just isn't going to work, right? It reminds me also of, I think it's an Eric Worre quote, I hope that I have that right. But he says something to the effect of, like, you're going to be massively underpaid for the first portion of your career, for the first couple years, while you're just like hustling and grinding and building that network and giving value to people and doing that legwork that it requires. And then there'll be like a curve where you're, quite frankly, overpaid for the work that you've done, or the work that you are doing based on the work that you've done in the past. So I don't know. That's just always stuck with me.
When David would tell me, and you've had experience of this, like a military deployment, how you're getting paid like a quarter an hour or some crazy, like it's maybe not even that much. Maybe that's too much, but
yeah,
like
seriously,
for that year or however long you're deployed, you're there 24/7. And that's kind of what this is. While you're building something, you're going to be there 24/7. You should be, and you should be building. And what I mean by be there 24/7 is not that you need to be like spamming your friends and whatever. But if you have never been online and you've never been deliberate, adding value to your social media, posting things that are maybe even a tad controversial, maybe like a little, get some friction going, get people to talk to you back and forth, sharing your opinions, messaging people, creating relationships, being in groups and making friends online, all of that takes a ton of time. And I know when I was building my last business, I actually built it in Korea. So it was on a totally different time zone. And I think my husband thought my job was Facebook. Like, I was just here. Like, if he walked by the computer, it would just be open and there would be hundreds, and I'm not kidding, hundreds of messages open. And I am just making friends and talking. Half of it was because I was lonely, but it really paid off in my business because I was building so many relationships every single day.
Yeah, I love that. And I think, to kind of get back to the topic of this specifically, if you think it's too hard, then what I translate that to mean is that you don't think that the effort that you're putting in right now is worth whatever the potential payout is. And so, do you have a vision for where you want to go? Like, for me, it was very easy because I knew that I had to make some money so that by the time I got out of the military, that I didn't have to go get another job. It was tangible. It was very like easy.
And you knew the money
myself
that you needed to make, so you had an income goal.
I knew the exact number I needed to make. I knew where I needed to be, and I had to get there under a specific time frame, or I wasn't going to be able to leave my job and retire. And so that for me was very, very easy. Every single day, I would wake up thinking, okay, how can I get to that goal? But so many people are comfortable where they are, so they don't really have a specific goal. They're not quite sure how much effort they want to put into it. They see someone at the top of the comp plan and they just think, oh, well, that's really nice. But there's no goal to really get there, no time frame, no roadmap. And so that's when things can seem like they're really hard.
Yeah, and I think if that's you, that might be a self-confidence problem. So if you think, I don't have a goal, I don't know what I want, I don't know what the direction of my life needs to be, I don't know where I'm going, I want you to look inside yourself and say, do I feel like I deserve this? Do I feel like I deserve, I'm getting like real deep,
Yeah.
Do I feel like I deserve this success? Do I feel like I deserve to make, and I would say something ridiculous to yourself. Say something like, do I deserve to make $100,000 a month, right? And see how you if you come back at yourself, like, ooh, like I could never, you know, then yeah, if you feel like you're gonna vomit, then, you know, and maybe 100 is too much to start with, but you know, like a big number that's scary to you, start with that and see how your body reacts. Do you start kind of sweating? Do you feel a little fidgety about it? Like, then we really need to get into like, why are you feeling that way? Why do you feel like you don't deserve that? Why do you think there are people out there, there are like 10-year-olds right now that are millionaires, like have used the internet to make millions of dollars. What is it and who is it that has told you that you don't deserve it? And where can we explore that? Because I think that there's, especially women, I think that we've been taught historically that maybe we don't deserve to make these big checks. Maybe we don't deserve to be the breadwinner. And so I would start there if you don't have a goal and try to figure out like why. Why don't you have a goal? Like what is it that is holding you back?
I love that so much. Guys, if you like this kind of stuff, I'm just going to plug again, get on our wait list, because when we show you what we're working on, we are going to dive into these topics plus a whole lot more and give you some really concrete tools that you can use to switch your mindset around things like money and worthiness and fears and all the things that Chelsea's talking about that we know that all of us run into, because it's not like we haven't run into them too, right? We've experienced all of this. That's the only reason why we're able to talk about it, is because we've gone through all this, and we continue to have to like coach ourselves on how to get through these types of situations, because the more you push yourself, the more you're going to like come up against some resistance. And so we are all in this with you. All right. I think that's probably a good place to stop.
I think so
If
too.
Yeah, I know. So I'm just like cut
And done.
and done. So this will be a podcast episode. So thank you guys for those of you listening to this on the podcast. We're posting it on YouTube and all sorts of other places as well. But yeah, I guess, you know, if you think that network marketing is too hard, then maybe it's not for you. If you are dedicated to it, though, we can help you get through that thought and that hurdle so that you can get to where you want to go. We've got the experience and we are happy to help you. We will be here on Facebook Mondays and Wednesdays, chit-chatting it up. So if you found that this was of value, if you think your team or your network would enjoy it, please go ahead and share.
Yeah.
So that's
Sounds
it.
good.
All right, guys, we will be back on Monday. And in the meantime, get on mavenwaitlist.com and we will email you when we are ready to launch. Talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye.